We'll get started then. So just finding an easy seated position, crossing the legs any way you want here, allowing the palms to sit wherever, whether it's on the knees, the thighs, backs of the hands on the knees, or the palms face up. Just find where you want to go here at the beginning of your practice. Trying to create the most amount of ease that you can. Allow the eyes to rest. Find some ease in the muscles. Just notice those points of the body where you may be unintentionally clenching up, whether that's in the fingers, the toes, facial muscles. You're shrugging the shoulders really up towards the ears. Invite them to relax down the side body. Just using this time at the beginning to tune in with the body. Take inventory. Scanning throughout, just seeing what's going on. Whether there's points of the body that are particularly tight, tense, or there's areas of the most sensation where the body is in contact with something, whether that's the glutes against the mat, the backs of the hands, the palms pressing into your clothing, your skin. Notice how the breath is moving through the body, where you take that first breath in. Is it more in the belly, the chest, somewhere in between? Starting to find a little bit more length into the spine. Maybe using that inhale to roll the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale to roll them down and back. Pull the shoulders down. Well, pull the shoulder blades together, creating this space in the chest. Slightly lift the chin, trying to create space in between ears and shoulders. Reaching up through the crown of the head, finding that nice long line from the top of the head all the way down to the spine, the lower back. Notice if the ribs are pointing out, just slightly pull them in, tuck them in. Neutral spine here. Those movements help create more space for that breath to grow, to move, to do its job. Starting to foster that deeper awareness of your breath. Noticing the length of it. How deep is each inhale? How does the body move as you breathe? And just taking some moments here to take the largest breaths that you can possibly take. Use that inhale to reach that full edge of your breath where you can't take in any more air at all. And just use that exhale to let go, to release. The body relaxes back down. And just taking those breaths a couple more times. Maybe each round you meet that edge, and maybe it's a little bit further away than that last breath, deeper than that last breath. As the breath starts to grow with each round, in and out. Take about 5 more rounds of those breaths. Trying to keep these breaths flowing with intention through the rest of your practice tonight as we start to invite in that second part of your practice, but not the most important, but just using postures to find a way to connect fully with the breath. Starting to bring the hands to the knees if they're not already there. Kind of grabbing onto the knees, finding a nice little grip. As that next inhale comes, pull the chest forward, maybe slightly bring the gaze up towards the ceiling, finding a seated cow pose. Exhale, release the grip from the knees, press the palms into the knees as you start to curl the navel in, arch through the spine towards the back of the mat, finding your cat pose. Inhale, you grip back onto the knees, pull the chest forward, lift the gaze up, cow. And just take a couple rounds of the seated cat-cow flow, moving through the spine, waking it up. You can find a little bit of movement if that feels good in each of these postures. Little move side to side, getting into different parts of the spine, the shoulders, upper back. Taking 1 or 2 more rounds. Starting to meet back at a neutral seated position when you're finished. Use that next inhale, start to sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Palms touch. Exhale, draw the hands down through heart center. Next inhale, we'll sweep the arms back up. This time, on your exhale, you'll bend the elbows, pull the shoulder blades back, maybe slightly lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Gaze lifts up, touch. Inhale, reach back up, palms touch overhead. Exhale, draw the hands back down to heart center. Inhale, reach back, lengthen, really pull up through the fingertips. This time on the exhale, reach the arms directly out towards the side and start to wrap one arm on top of each other, wrapping the arms around yourself, giving yourself a nice little self-hug. Lock those fingers a little bit closer towards each other. Maybe you drop the chin into the arms. Next inhale, lift the chin. Then start to open up the arms towards the side. Pull the shoulder blades back. Maybe shine that heart back up towards the ceiling. Lift the gaze up. Next inhale, sweep the arms up, palms touch. Exhale back to heart center. Taking that one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms out to the side. Take another deep inhale. Exhale, start to cross the opposite arm on top, coming back into that self-hug. Locking those arms any distance behind you on the shoulder blades. And dropping the chin into the chest when you're ready. Next inhale, open the arms up wide, lift the chin, pull the shoulder blades back, lift the heart, shine it up towards the ceiling. Another inhale, we'll take the arms up. This time on our exhale, start to hinge forward, try to lead with the chest here, trying to keep that flat spine going until you start to notice when you round the spine, and then just release the palms when you find that point. Maybe forearms come down to the mat. Maybe you drop chin towards the chest, coming into a seated forward fold here. If you want a little bit more of an active stretch on the shoulders, you can walk the palms forward until the forearms start to lift off the mat. Another slow breath here. Inhale, slowly start to walk the palms in one by one, using that motion to lift the chest up as well, coming up to seated. Maybe another reach them up high. Exhale, take them down and back. Maybe blink the eyes open if you haven't opened them already. Start to extend the legs forward. Maybe we start to wiggle them around a little bit, wake up the legs, flex and point the feet a couple of times. And when you're all ready and set to go, sing them to the side. Start to come to tabletop, coming onto knees and palms or fists. Stacking shoulders approximately about wrists, hips about above the knees here. Press through the base of the knuckles, nice engaged arms and palms here. Pressing through the L shape in the hands as well. Maybe just take another round or two of your cat-cow pose. Inhale, drop the belly, bring the gaze forward. Exhale, we'll press the palms even more into the mat as you start to tuck the hip underneath you, and then start to arch the spine, pulling the chin towards the chest. Just take that 2 or 3 times, how many times you wish to go. When you're finished with your last one, we'll just meet back in that neutral tabletop. Start to press more weight into that left palm, so you can maybe start to hover the right palm off the mat. Start to take it to your lower back. Palm pressing into the spine. Take an inhale. And exhale, start to pull the right shoulder back, opening the chest towards the side of the mat. You have that option here to extend that right arm up towards the ceiling. That doesn't cause too much strain in the spine or the neck. You can also lift the gaze up towards the ceiling if that's easy on the neck. There's no need to do it at all. Take an inhale in this twist. And exhale, we'll eventually find that right palm back down into the mat. Switching sides, bringing all that weight into that right palm. Start to hover the left palm off the mat. Carry it to the lower back. Take that deep breath in. Fill up. And exhale, we'll pull that left shoulder back. Open the chest towards the opposite side of the mat. And then choose whatever variation used on the other side. Palms staying on lower back, arms extended up towards the ceiling, gaze directly towards the side or up towards the fingertips. Another breath in, and exhale to lower the palm down. a breath in here. And that exhale will transition you back to your child's pose, sending hips to heels, lowering the forearms into the mat, maybe the forehead into the mat, or two fists stacked upon each other, or two palms. On your next inhale, start to reach those palms forward. Forearms are nice and lifted. Fingertips are still spread nice and wide. Take an exhale out. And inhale will start to curl you forward, coming into your plank on knees here. Pull the chest in between the arms. Scoop the hips slightly underneath you. Pull the lower belly in to fire up the core. Gaze is slightly towards the top of your mat, right in front of it, a couple inches. Really squeeze those elbows towards the rib cage. Maybe you lift the tops of the feet off the mat. Take an inhale. And exhale, still keep on squeezing those elbows towards the ribs as you lower chest and belly down to the mat. Extend the legs. Maybe bring the arms out directly towards your side, palms up or down. Just relaxing here. Maybe the right cheek onto the mat. You can choose to pick up the shins off the mat and the feet, and windshield wiper the legs side to side. Giving the lower back some love. Start to release the feet back down if you lifted them. Bring the lips into the mat or into your mask. Just pressing them into the mat. Press the hips into the mat. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Knees may slightly lift off the ground. Bring the big toes to touch. Then start to press the palms underneath the chest. Then actively try to pull the shoulder blades towards one another, firing up this body to help support you as you come into your baby cobra pose. Inhale, start to slowly peel the chest off the mat with that engagement through the body, but not looking straight forward, really pulling the crown of the head forward towards the top of the room. Breathing here. Hands should be more of a placeholder than they are supporting you, so you should almost be able to lift the palms off the mats with ease. And exhale, lower down. Maybe release the palms back down to the side. Bring left cheek into the mat. You can take that option to lift the legs, sway them side to side. Lower the legs back down. Starting to come back into that cobra pose. Bring lips into mat. Fire up the body. Bring the big toes together. Press the hips into the mat. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. That lifts the knees. Then bring the palms in. The shoulder blades pull towards one another. And then inhale, peel the heart. Maybe for this version, you decide to start to press through the palms, straighten through the arms, coming into cobra. Slight micro bend in the elbows here will go a long way. Actively trying to still pull the chest forward in between the arms. Engage that lower belly there to protect the lower back as much as you can. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly lower it down. Pause here for a breath. Taking another variation of that cobra pose, just to bring both hands to the lower spine. Maybe interlace the fingers or just grab onto wrist or forearms. Fire up the body the same way it was. Tops of the feet, knees lift, hips press down, shoulder blades pull towards one another. If the hands are clasped, punch the wall behind you with the fist that you've created. And then inhale, start to lift the chest up for bound cobra. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower. Release the palms. Take a breath. Pause. Enjoy that breath. What it has to offer you after that posture. When you're ready, palms underneath chest. Start to lift the tops of the feet off the mat. Maybe flex the feet. Pull the elbows in. Shoulder towards each other. Slightly lift the hips off the mat. Really press those palms into the ground. Inhale, press up through your tabletop. Exhale, take it back to your child's pose. Give the lower spine, the back a break. Inhale, slowly start to come back into your tabletop. Making that transition to your first down dog of this practice. Tuck the toes underneath you. Find those nice open fingers, nice strong palms into the mat. Inhale to lift the knees off the mat. And exhale, slowly start to take the hips up and back. While you press the chest towards the belly. I combined chest and belly. Oh, it's a long day. Starting to find you. Down dog. Feel free to walk out, pedal out the legs, walk out your dog. Wake up the hamstrings, whatever movement that feels good here. Maybe a nice generous bend in the knees in this first down dog. Maybe every down dog is a generous bend of the knees. Take an inhale. Exhale, soften into the knees if you straighten the legs. Inhale to look forward past the fingertips and slowly walk the feet towards the hands. Finding ragdoll here, still nice deep bend in the knees. Upper body draping over the lower. Maybe hands to elbows or shoulders. Release the chin towards the chest. Maybe you sway side to side. Release the fingertips back towards the mat, dangling in the air, grazing the mat. Next, inhale, start to come into your halfway lift, palms underneath knees. If you lift the torso into that 90-degree angle, maybe soften a little bit into the knees. Pull the crown of the head towards the top of the room. Find that length through the spine. Inhale here. And exhale, start to come back down into your folds. 2 more times with your own breath, your own pace. Inhale, you find that halfway lift. Focus on finding that length. And that exhale will melt you back down over the legs. when you're ready, meeting in that forward fold. Releasing the arms down. Let the entire upper body be heavy as the lower body works to slowly start to roll you up vertebra by vertebra, pressing through those inside edges of the feet and pressing the hips forward. Maybe a shoulder roll when you reach the top. Inhale the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, roll them down and back. Finding feet about hip distance apart. Nice strong legs here, still pressing through those inside edges of the feet. Trying to grip the mat with your feet. Pull shoulder blades back, fingertips reach down towards the ground. Chin slightly lifted, hips slightly pressed forward. Mountain pose. Inhale, sweeps the arms back up and over. Palms touch. Exhale, draw the hands back down to the heart. Inhale to reach and lengthen. Exhale, soften into the knees. Start to hinge forward once again. Lead with that heart. Try to keep that flat spine as you come down into your standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend into the knees. Fingertips maybe come down to the mat. Start to step the right foot back. Drop the knee down. Untuck the toes. Build this posture from the ground up. First pressing through that inside edge of the left foot. Take an inhale. Exhale to pull the left hip back. Press the right hip forward. Squeeze the thighs towards one another. And then start to lift up. Maybe bring the palms to the left thigh and using that to press yourself up. Keeping those hips squared here. Maybe you scoot that foot a little bit more forward to get that knee stacked above ankle or slightly behind. Low lunge here, breathing into the hips. Notice if the ribs are poking out, knit them in. Want to play with your balance here. You can bring hands to heart center. Lift it up and over. Or you can come into that chest opener, shoulder opener. Exhale to bend into the elbows, pull the shoulder blades back, lift the heart up, slightly bend back. Focus on pressing through that edge of the left foot to keep you nice and stable. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring the palms to the mat. Inhale, we'll tuck the right toes, lift the back knee. Exhale to step it to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Another exhale, bend the knees. Slide the left foot back this time. Coming into that same posture, lower the knee. Build from that ground up. Press through that inside edge of the right foot. Take an inhale. Exhale, pull the right hip back. Press the left hip forward. Squeeze the thighs towards each other. Then start to lift up, palms to the thigh to help support that process. Maybe that you have to walk that foot a little bit more forward or back. Knit the ribs in. Play with your balance if you wish. Hands at heart. Arms lifted. Maybe a deep breath in. And exhale to bend those elbows. Create those goalpost arms as you shine the heart up. Lift the gaze to follow. Inhale to extend, lift up, and exhale to meet the mat. Inhale, left toes tuck, knee lifts. Exhale, step it back to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step both feet back. And then choose, I'm not going to cue a vinyasa, but you can go through it. You can find child's pose, down dog, or anything else that you desire movement-wise in your practice in this moment. Take a few moments to follow your own body, listen to what it needs right now. When you're ready, take another breath or two just to slow it down. The breath, the body. And we'll start to meet in down dog as you're ready. Maybe this down dog feels a lot different than the first one. Maybe there's more space, maybe there's less. Start to bring both big toes together at the center of your mat. Inhale, sweep the right leg up towards the ceiling. Close the hips off so they point down towards the mat. Maybe an exhale will bend the right knee and open the hip up towards the side of the mat. Inhale to re-extend the leg towards the ceiling. Exhale, start to curl the body in and pull that knee forward. Lower that foot down to the mat. Maybe slowly walk it forward to get that knee above ankle. Slowly walk that left foot forward a bit so it's completely planted in the mat and the toes are slightly pointed towards that left corner of the mat. Setting up for warrior one here, pressing it through that inside edge of the right foot. And inhale, slowly start to come up. Maybe hands at hips, take an inhale. Exhale, pull the right hip back, press the left hip forward, square it off. Find the distance in between your feet and your legs that feels good here for your body. Take an inhale. If you exhale, stomp down through that left foot a little bit more, firing up that back leg so it's not all on the right leg. You can bring hands to heart center. Lift the arms. Same variations from when that low lunge. Maybe exhale, bend the elbows. Lift the heart up towards the ceiling. You can stay here. If you wish to transition to humble warrior, you can start to clasp the palms back behind you. Use an exhale, start to lower the chest down towards the mat to the inside of that right thigh. Use that fist to really punch the ceiling. Notice that the hips start to point out towards the side. Try to keep them square towards the front of the room. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly lower the palms back down to the spine and then down to the mat. Step that right foot back. And once again, choose, listen, rest or movement. Take 3 or 5 more breaths wherever you end up. You're ready, finding down dog once again. Walking both feet to the center of your mat, setting up. Inhale, sweep the left leg up. Square the hips down. The exhale bends into that knee and opens the hip over towards the left. Inhale to extend the leg. Exhale, start to arch the spine, tuck it in as you pull the knee forward. Plant that foot. Walk it in any amount to get that knee stacked above ankle. Step that right foot in. Find that 45-degree angle pointing towards the corner of the right mat. Squaring the hips off. Use that inhale to rise when you're ready. Maybe hands to hips at first. Take an inhale. Exhale to pull the left hip back, press the right hip forward. Take another inhale. Another exhale to press that right heel into the mat even more. To really fire up that right leg. And then choose where you wish to go from here. Hands at heart center. Lift it up towards the ceiling. Gold post arms with the heart shining up. Maybe you wish to start to come to humble warrior from here. Bring the palms down to the lower spine, interlacing them. Punching this fist towards the ground. Exhale, start to hinge forward as the fists come up overhead, punching the ceiling. Notice what happens to the hips, trying to keep them squared off. And exhale, slowly lowers the arms down. And then to the mat. Step the left foot back. Once again, this is your time to freestyle it. Stillness or movement. Take 2 or 3 more breaths wherever you're at. When you're ready, starting to meet in child's pose. Slow the breath down. Use this time of stillness to create that space with the breath. inhale, start to press the palms into the mat. Lift the torso up. Walk the palms towards the knees to come up to hero's pose, a transition, just to dress the hips to one side. Swing the legs forward. These next couple of postures, you can just come into an easy seated position. Another option is to take Gomukhasana legs if the hips are open enough here in this practice. So first you'll just plant that left foot into the mat, about in line with the knee. Pick that foot up, take it to the outside of the right knee, and then slowly start to pull that heel towards the outside of the right hip. This may be enough. You can also pull that right heel underneath the left glute. This may not be available at all, so just recommend easy seated position from here. You can sit here for a few moments. You can also take eagle arms, extending both arms out in front of you, wrapping the right arm underneath the left, bringing the palms to touch or grabbing onto the wrists. Lift both slightly up so they're in line with the shoulders. You can just drop the chin into the arms here. You can stay here. You can take an inhale and exhale to bow forward. Inhale, slowly start to lift up. Release the grips of the palms. Slowly unravel the arms. Just give them a nice little shake. Then gently unravel the legs. Give them a shake. Switch sides. Right foot into the mat this time. In line with the knee. Pick that foot up. Take the outside of the left knee. Then slide that heel towards the outside of the left hip. You can stay here or sweep that left heel underneath the right hip. Finding Gomukhasana legs, trying to get those knees to stack up on each other. Once again, you have to stay here if you want. We're going to reach those arms back forward. This time, raveling left arm underneath right. Grabbing onto wrists or pressing the palms in towards each other. Slightly lift those elbows to get in line with the shoulders. Maybe drop the chin back into the arms. Maybe a deep breath in here. And that exhale to carry you into that fold. Inhale, start to lift up. Gently start to unravel the arms. You take that shake just to reset them. Then gently unravel the legs. Start to shake them out as well. Taking time for another open hip posture. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. Take the hands to the glutes, move some of the flesh towards the side, coming more into the bone. Knees fall out. Open the soles of the feet like a book, so the soles of the feet are pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, pull the crown of the head up, find that length. Maybe an exhale starts to hinge you forward. Try to keep that flat spine. Notice when you start to round, back out slightly and work on straightening through the spine. Maybe each inhale finds a little bit more length, and that exhale carries you a little bit more forward. And that process just repeats itself over and over and over again. And maybe with each round you find a little bit more depth into the posture. Maybe it doesn't change at all other than just finding more ease in the body in that still position. Take 2 more breaths here. If you lowered, that inhale will slowly start to lift you up. Take the hands to the knees. Close the book, pulling the knees towards each other, pressing the soles of the feet into the mat. Slowly start to walk the feet more and more and more in until you start to balance on the tailbone. Wrap the arms around the knees. Maybe you lift the toes off the mat, finding that balancing point. Trying to pull the chest towards the thighs. Find that straight spine. And maybe an exhale just tips you back onto your spine. Once you're on your back, maybe you rock side to side. Find that nice lower back massage. Then from there, maybe you start to pull the knees in towards the belly. Even more. Maybe you start to come into happy baby here. Maybe you find any other postures or movements that feel good for your practice. Anything that hasn't been offered. Any other parts of the body that need a little bit more attention for tonight's practice. Any other postures you want to play with, now's the time. You can meet straight in Shavasana if that's where you want to go in this moment. Starting to set up for Shavasana, that final and probably the most important time of your practice tonight. These final moments to reap the full benefits of all the breaths you've taken in this practice, all the movement that you've found in the body, the space you've created through that movement to allow you to fully find some ease here in these final moments, to go into that full restorative mode. To rest the eyes, to ease the control over the breath. To explore, to be curious, to move into that state of observation of whatever may come up, whatever these final moments tonight have to offer you. Being open to all sorts of experience. As each posture tonight was temporary, each thought, each feeling will eventually pass if you let it. You give it space to move. Start to choose the way that you wish to enter it back into the body, into what's happening here on your mat this evening. Whether that's returning to the breath, finding movement in the body, scanning through the body to notice what may be different, what may have changed. Paying attention what's happening off the mat in the room around you, sounds going on. Just find that way to reconnect, to refocus. Maybe you start to go for that entire body stretch, reaching the arms back behind you, reaching back through the fingertips and pulling forward through the toes. That nice good morning stretch. Choose that side that you wish to roll over to, curling up, pulling the knees in towards the belly, cradling the head and the arms. Eyes still rest. Start to take that gentle and slow journey to start to come back up to seated. Ending up in the seated position that you wish to end your practice. Inhale to pull the crown of the head up. Find that link. Release the shoulders down the body. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, draw the hands down to the heart. Inhale, sweep back up. Find that link one more time together. Palms meet. Exhale, bring the hands down to the forehead for peaceful thoughts. Down to the lips for peaceful words. And back to the heart for peaceful actions. Ending in with a couple more few deep breaths, maybe bowing towards yourself as you feel up in the belly and the chest. And find those relaxing exhales. The light within me honors and respects the light within all of you. Namaste.